welcome to another episode, and I'm super excited for this episode. There are two things. Firstly, this is one of my favorite illustrations, and secondly, it's the season of festivals and season of light. Diwali is coming, Halloween is coming, and then in no time there's going to be Christmas also. So I'm super excited. It's my favorite time of the year. Just constant 5 months is just all about celebration, and I'm really looking forward to the weeks ahead because it's highly motivating and energizing. And I've been creating a lot and trying to create really cool stuff for you guys, something that I can share with you all. So, before I get distracted again, I would like to give a huge thanks to each one of you who's been a really important part in my journey, not just as an artist for the Tapsy account, but also on my YouTube over here. The kind of support and the love, and all the emails and the messages, and every comment that you guys leave, it really means a lot, and it's highly motivating for me. So, this one's for kindness and all the love that you guys have been giving, and I would like to talk about kindness a little more, but I will love to talk about this painting that I'm about to share with you guys. So this was actually a demo that I gave one of my students in class, so I thought I would record it. So this is on the top left that you see is our real life photograph that we had taken. I do not remember who, but it was one of our students or some in the camp member at the peak of Sarpas. So this is the base camp name called Nagaru. So if not many of you know, Sarpas is one of the name of the peak of the Himalayan ranges, which is at the altitude of 14,000 feet and above the ground, obviously. And it was a 5-day trek, and this was the second last day of our trek, and this was on the highest altitude that we got to stay. And it was -7 degrees at that time, and this trek was done in the month of April. So it was a really good time to go, and we did get a blizzard and everything in the morning, and this trek was just extremely life-changing. And at the bottom that you see is the color palette that I'm using for this artwork because I really loved it. I just found this in one of my boards in Pinterest, and I do not know the artist again. If you know, please pin it down in the comments, and I would definitely give them the due credits they deserve. So coming back to Sarpas, so a little bit about this trek. It was done by our faculty member, or more my colleague now in the college where I teach, which is Whistling Woods International. And it was a trek with our students of the last year, and it was a bunch of 40 of us who had done this trek. Not many of them could make it on the top because they were not able to do it, so they stayed back on the base camp, and all of us went up. And obviously it had its own difficulty and stress in the trek because it's not easy walking 20 kilometers per day, and we live in such luxurious life over here in the cities that we don't really walk around everywhere. We Uber or take a rickshaw or something like that. Apologies for my cough, I have a little bit of cold. So yeah, and there was this point during this trek, we from Kasol to Grahan, and then we were taking our trip from Grahan to Mintaj, and I was giving up. I was like, I can't do this. It's so difficult. I was having really bad anxiety and breathing and everything. It was, I think, 15 degrees or something, which is really cold for me. Someone coming from Mumbai in such a humid temperature. But a lot of kind words, support, and encouragement is what helped me make it on the top. And a huge shout out to one of my students, Bhushan, who literally dragged me from Grahan to Mintaj and made sure I did not fall. And my partner and colleague, Tanay, and my faculty, like Sir Gaurav Sir, who pushed me, and few other students also. But these three played a major role in pushing me because I was on the verge of giving up and going back. But the kind words and the encouragement is what kept me going. And while creating this painting, I realized it's because of their kind words and motivation and them pushing me, constantly saying you can do it. And it was just not for me, but for everyone, right? it was difficult, equally difficult for everyone, but we all take our difficulties and our stress in different levels, right? We were walking the same path. It was the same journey. It was the same amount of steps we all were taking, but we all were dealing with the same journey in a different way. And it was a huge learning moment and a realization that anything can be achieved in life if you're kind to yourself, if you're encouraging to yourself, and if you have a good support system around you. Being kind to one another and being loving to one another and not giving up, right? One step at a time. That's one thing, that was the mantra that we all kept saying, one step at a time, one step at a time. And it is so true, and that's exactly how we live our life, right? Like, I especially believe in the motto of one day at a time, right? You can't figure out your entire life in a day. That's impossible. You do not know what's going to happen in 1 second, and you do not know what's going to happen tomorrow. So yes, of course, you need to do a little future planning, obviously, but you cannot live your present by thinking in the future. There is going to be no future if you're not working for your future. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not taking a step today, how will you be closer to your future? How will you be closer to your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, or whatever you have, your bucket list, We all have a way of living in a different way. Coming back to the trip and a trek, right? So we did finish it, and I'm so proud of each of my students who finished it, and even us adults who did it. And due to that and that learning experience, I am going to be going another trek this Jan. I'm really excited about it, and this time I'm going to try to vlog about it. Not really good with that, but yes, while creating this painting, it made me realize and think about the entire journey that I went through in those 10 days of my trip at Kasol, to Grahan, to Mintaj, to Nagaru, to Biskeri, and then again to Kasol and to Mumbai. Those 10 days were extremely life-changing, and the highlight of the entire trip was we all need one another. We all depend on one another. Not just financially or something like that, but when you know there's someone out there for you, encouraging for you, rooting for you, it really feels good. It really feels encouraging. And the same thing goes for today also, that we all should be encouraging, motivating, and kind to one another. We already live in such a dark and depressing world with things that are going around us, the war, the hatred, negative environment. Like, it really makes me speechless, because there's so much things that are happening around us that we kind of lose the touch of kindness and happiness around us, right? And at the end, there's always going to be darkness, and there's always going to be negative people around you, demotivating people around you. But the only thing that you remember when you look back at your time is the good days and the people who helped you. Like, even when I look back at my trip, this was my first ever trekking experience, and the only thing that I remember is the people who actually pushed me, the people who motivated me to finish the trek, and nothing else. We always look back to our memories and think about the people who helped us, who pushed us and encouraged us. So be that person for someone. Be the kind person in someone else's story, and be the good person. We really, really need to be kinder, not just to others, but to ourselves also, right? And try to do the little things that you can do. If you see someone struggling with something, right? Help them. Encourage them. Try to understand where they are lacking. Understand why they are behaving a certain way, and try to be that shoulder that they can lean on to and talk to. Right? Not everyone's going to open up, but just assuring someone ki yes, you are there for them, you hear them, you see them, and they are here for you whenever they need you, right? Just letting someone know that yes, you're here. and your doors are always open to talk to. And I think that's a really, really important thing in today's world, because we all live in such a fast paced world, right? And even we ourselves sometimes lose focus of where we are going, and we sometimes lose focus of the people who are around us, and we get so lost in our own entanglements and the noodle thoughts that we keep having, like a spaghetti of thoughts. And I think it's okay to detangle and just be the ear to someone else's low day. And trust me, they'll always, always be grateful for you. Always. Making someone smile and encouraging someone on their lowest day is the most beautiful and soul fulfilling thing that you'll ever do. And I would really like to encourage each one of you to be kinder and to be happier and to be nicer to be people around you, right? And I want that to reflect in your work, reflect in your daily routine, and trust me, you will notice a change not just within you but the people around you and the way they talk to you and they address you. And it's a really good quality that will take me and for a longer ride ahead. And if you want to start with baby steps, comment on other people's artworks, leave a comment on a good tutorial or a good video that you watch, and share what it made you feel like. Trust me, people like me who put out content, even you, I'm sure you love it when someone appreciates you and notices the details that you have put out in your work, right? And it makes you feel like, oh my god, they observed my work, oh my god, they listened to me. And that's the most beautiful thing ever. So this Diwali and this coming Halloween, please be amazing, kind-hearted, loving to yourself, to the people around you, to the family, to the friends, to your classmates, to whoever your colleagues, and be kinder and be happier and just have loads and loads of fun. I love each one of you so much. Thank you for being the most supportive support system I could ask for. Thank you so much, guys, and have a really good happy Diwali.